Hello and welcome to the channel. This is my Sputnik review. Creature features. Do you like them? I sure do. In fact, creature features are my all-time favourite, probably. It's kind of why I really like Godzilla as a concept, and I really like monster movies and all this good stuff, right? I've got a soft spot for creature features. I love alien films, I love sci-fi, and this scratched that itch. Boy, did it scratch that itch. It really, really did. I am really impressed by this. I saw a trailer. I think the trailer started doing the rounds 2 weeks ago. It started to rise to prominence about 2 weeks ago, and I saw it and I thought to myself, yeah, this looks good. It looked pretty decent. And this is a Russian film. Now, Russia, not really known for films. It's not something which is a huge export from Russia, but I will tell you now what they managed to do with $2.5 million. Let's just throw that out there. The budget for this was 190 million rubles, which equates to, if I'm looking at my math, $2.5 million. Right? I think. I'm pretty certain, unless I am spouting crap. But it was amazing. Like, what they managed to do was amazing. And I really liked this film. I really liked it for many reasons. There are some things which are, not great about it. The pacing is a little bit awkward at times. But boy howdy, on a whole, I loved this film. You can forgive pacing if you step back from the experience and you go, well, I had a good time. I really enjoyed that. Now, I'm not going to go into spoilers in this review. I've chosen some marketing posters that doesn't really reveal too much. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because I think people should watch this film. It's available on Amazon. You can buy or rent it. I unfortunately rented it because I didn't know whether it would be good. I might actually buy it. I enjoyed it that much. And it is subtitled, and I would encourage you to do subtitles. I don't think that there is a dub, and I don't think it needs it. Although I will just say I had to rewind ever so slightly once or twice just to double check what they were saying. Now, what is so good about this film? Well, look, it is a creature feature, and the basic premise is, and most people can get on board with this, I think, as a premise for this film, is it's as if life, the movie Life with Calvin, continued at that point in time. That's basically what this film is. It's kind of that. But a really interesting sort of existential... There's a lot of existential sort of concept in there as well. Whereas, what I find quite comical about this, or interesting at the very least, is you have Hollywood driving home social politics as an agenda, right? Really pushing that home. That's their jam. And Russia comes in with this film, and there's no agenda per se, but there is a sort of an existential question being posed there about the inner monster of a man and how, that sort of elaborates on the world. And then there is some sort of, there's a little bit of a concept in there with respect to the doctor, the female doctor that is the lead in this film, and how her backstory sort of ties into this. It's just interesting how different markets do it differently. And how, interestingly enough, for $2.5 million, no agenda, great film. Literally a great film. So why did I like this film so much? Well, look, we can rabbit on about it being a film with a creature feature and all of that, that good stuff until the cows come home. But what I really did like about this, and I genuinely did like it, is with respect to the cinematography. This is a beautifully composed film. Absolutely beautifully done. It is set in or around the Cold War, and obviously things are aged, they're graded differently to reflect that sort of age of time period and things, such and such forth, but they do it very well. The editing and the color grading on this film is staggering. So again, here for instance, right? What a beautiful shot. What an absolutely beautiful shot. And it really is a beautiful shot. The light is just perfect. The muted tones just come through enough, but it really reflects when this movie was set. I believe, anyway. I think this perfectly encapsulates that. Now, the cinematography is on point in this film, and again, subtle shots such as this, as you can see, sort of camera pannings and things like that. I mean, you've watched the trailer, and you can really get a grip on how absolutely fantastic the colour grading is on this film. And it is. The colour grading is superb. I mean, this is one of the opening shots of them in space, because, of course, just brief premise, Sputnik, obviously, they're in space, they come down and something comes with them. That's basically the premise, and it's all in the trailer, so again, no spoilers. But what a beautifully composed shot. What a staggeringly composed shot. It's beautiful. It's really, really nice. So, again, in short, cinematography, absolutely on point. Now, the score was actually one of the really, really pleasant surprises of this film. And I was really surprised that the score was going to be as good as it was. Because, again, I think we're quite used to Hollywood. And we're quite used to... They have a few go-tos with their scoring. And they also have a vibe. Because Hollywood studios tend to sort of just copy one another. You know? And Russia comes out with this movie, and the score is just something different. It's just something different. And I'm not saying different is always good. You know, you wouldn't want a one-pronged fork, for instance. What would be the point in that? That's different and bad. But this was different and very, very good. It was dramatic. It had a lot of emotion in it, but it was also timed very, very well. Sound design was seamless, so it's not really something I can kind of talk about with respect to the sound design. It tended to blend nicely into it, but the sound canvas that they made with respect to the creature that is in this film, because it is a creature feature, was really, really good. Compelling as well, because it ties into the existential question of whether the man is the monster and the monster is the man. And I thought that worked very, very nicely. It makes these subtle chirps and sort of noises like that. It was very, very, very well made. Now, cinematography and things like that, great. Sound, great. Effects were actually really, really decent. And when I looked at the trailer, I thought to myself, are the effects going to be good in this or not? And it turns out that actually they were really decent. I watched it on a 4K TV, and I rented this in HD. And there was nothing that I could look at specifically that was glaringly bad. I mean, it all worked, right? It's something which I've seen in a Hollywood production. It's nothing which I looked at and went, oh, it's clearly Russian, or it's clearly a lower budget, it's clearly this. If they were speaking English and it was called Apollo whatever, I would believe that it was from Hollywood, right? I mean, I could believe it easily. The effects were very, very well done. Smoke and things like that, the practical effects worked. There was... I'm not going to get into it too much because it is some spoilers, but there's a head removal scene that is a bit... it's just that there's a one beat moment where you go, oh yeah, clearly effects. But it wasn't terrible, and it's, again, I can't really reveal too much because I don't want to, give spoilers away, but it worked very nicely. And actually, I will say this, even though, you can very clearly see its effects and CG, that one beat that they hold, that yes, does reveal it's that, mattered. And you'll know it when you've seen it. That one beat hold, because it's when you just go, oof, wow. And then, but yeah, you do know it's CG. Now, acting in this film is really difficult to critique when it's, a foreign language. Because the inflection that people put on certain words and things like that doesn't translate very well, obviously, with a subtitle. And we don't know, not being from Russia, whether their acting is up to par or not. But I will say this, when everyone's emoting was great, it was very well shot, very well composed, and I believed it, and I had a really good time with this film. I would highly recommend it. Anyone who likes Alien, anyone who likes creature features, anyone who just likes good old-fashioned sci-fi, you must watch this film. It's on Amazon. It's fairly cheap. I think I rented it for like £4.99, so about, was that like $6-7? Recommend. Go and watch it. You won't be disappointed. It is genuinely as if we continued on Life, the movie Life, which came out, what, 3 years ago now? Very well made. And now, Russia is on my radar, you know, for films. They weren't before, they are now. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because when we compare it to, say, South Korean cinema, there's been a few absolute bangers from South Korea, and they've made you go, or me anyway, go, oof, I'm going to be looking out for South Korean movies now. And this is what's happened with Sputnik, with, you know, Russian cinema. They are catching up, and you need to take note. You need to watch them. They're good. Anyway, guys, if you've seen it, please do let me know your thoughts. I'll leave the trailer link down below. Check it out. I would genuinely recommend it. It was a great film. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, I've been Mr. H. Take care.